presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Black We are Wisconsin.
The roof is opening here at Miller Park. The Brewers are finally back home in Milwaukee. We're getting ready for a three-game set between the Brewers and the Reds in an NL Central Division battle. The Brewers coming off of a six-game road trip. They rebounded from a three-game sweep against the Mets in New York for a sweep of their own, their first road series win of the season, first sweep of the season for the Crew as well at Turner Field against the Braves. And it is good to be home for the Brewers, where they have won 7 of their last 11. They look to keep that going here tonight against the Reds. The Reds have been struggling lately. They're on a 10-game losing streak. The Brewers looking to continue to add to that total. They've gone 10-31 over their last 41 games. From Miller Park, I'm Sophia Minert, and Jonathan Villar is quietly asserting himself as a terrific everyday shortstop and productive player at the top of Craig Counsell's batting order. On the road trip, he had 9 hits, his second home run of the season, and 4 RBIs. So Jonathan Villar has told me about the production that he's had here at the plate here lately and how that success has led to some good work here for Craig Counsell and the Brewers.
I feel good because I keep working every day. So this year he saw me, you can do it, you can play great. So we practice every day in the cage before the BP. So we got a routine every day.
Jonathan Villar looks to continue swinging a hot bat. The Brewers look to continue their success here in the month of May, where they already have 13 wins after an 8-win month of April. When we come back, BA and Rod will tell you more about the Crew's success here in May.
Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. By your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places. And by Miller Lite, the original light Pilsner. Cheers, it's Miller time. Turning out to be a beautiful night here in Milwaukee. Nice night to drive down by the lakefront, and just a few miles from there, we're at Miller Park. Zach Davies for the Brewers, John Lamb, the left-hander for Cincinnati. And hi, everybody. We welcome you from Miller Park alongside Bill Schroeder. I'm Brian Anderson. Well, the Brewers are coming off a road trip where they went 3-3, as Sophia mentioned, and they won 3 in a row in Atlanta. And it's put together now a very good month of May, and all facets of the game starting to click a little bit for this club.
Yeah, they've been running the bases pretty well. They have been making a few mistakes, but when you look at the numbers, the offense has been pretty good. They're averaging about 4.5 runs a game, and that's a little deceiving. Last 14 games, they've only scored 30 runs. There was a stretch early in May where they had a 3-game stretch, scored 37 runs. But the big thing for the Brewers has been the pitching, and the bullpen's been good, all year, but particularly good in the month of May. Since May 6th, the best bullpen earned run average in all of baseball. But you have to really give the starters a lot of credit. After a very shaky start in the month of April, these guys are starting to dial it in, keeping the Brewers getting games early. A lot of low-scoring, one-run games that the Brewers all of a sudden are starting to win, and they're starting to eat up innings, taking the pressure off that bullpen.
All facets of the game going well. Even the TV analyst, Bill Schroeder, he is on top of his game, and we're ready for baseball tonight. Lineups, first pitch coming your way. That ball's hit. Wow, way back. How far will it fly? Uh-oh, Ryan Braun. And now Flores turns it around. Back is Granderson, and he is out of room. Shows bunt, and this should be a hit, which would be a major league first for Broxton. Peralta, center field, and 2 runs will score. There's a shot. VR turns it around. This one is up, and it is gone. A home run for Jonathan VR. Brewers all smiles after that road trip, sweeping the Atlanta Braves. Now a homestand begins, and Zach Davies leads the Brewers out onto the field on Retro Friday night. Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin, presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. Spend the night with luxury. Brian Anderson, Bill Schroeder, Sophia Menard, and our terrific crew with Fox Sports Wisconsin, led in the truck by Brent Breland and Mark Vittorio. There's Brian Price, the skipper of the Cincinnati Reds, a team that is struggling mightily right now. Reds have lost 10 straight games. They are 3-17 on the road this year, and Price's team comes in with a record of 15-32. Let's check his starting lineup tonight. Courtesy of Potawatomi, it's Zach Cozart leading off, then Joey Votto. Brandon Phillips hits third. Middle of the order is Jay Bruce, Adam Duvall, and Eugenio Suarez. And the bottom three for Price is Billy Hamilton, Ramon Cabrera, and John Lamb, the left-handed pitcher. And Rock, that's the lineup that will face right-hander Zach Davies.
You see his numbers 1 and 3 and a .575 earned run average. Start number 8. He's had a pretty good month of May. 4 starts, an earned run average under 4 at .397, but he's 0-1. He lost his only start in his career to the Reds last year here at Miller Park.
First of 3 against Cincinnati. First of 6 on this homestand. The Brewers will be inside the National League Central on this Memorial Day weekend and homestand. Got the Cardinals coming in next. First pitch of the ball game is on the way. It is swung on and popped up. And sliding over to make the play is Flores, and that's how we get going tonight. Zach Cozart makes the first out on the first pitch.
Yeah, let's check out the Menards Brewers defense tonight. You got Braun in left. Kean Broxton gets a start out in center field with Flores over in right. Perez at third. And you got VR Hill up the middle and Chris Carter at first base, and Jonathan Lucroy back behind home plate. He got last night off.
Jonathan VR continues to be a terrific story for Milwaukee. 9 hits on the recent road trip. As Joey Votto swings at the first pitch, and there is out number 1. They have the shift on. 2 pitches, 2 outs.
Boy, that's something you don't see very often with Joey Votto early in the game, swinging at the first pitch. Yeah, not a whole lot has gone right for the Reds. They're dead last in pitching as far as earned run average, next to last in offense, and dead last in defense. And you wonder why they've lost 10 straight. There you go.
This 10-game losing streak for Brian Price. His team has only averaged a little over 2.5 runs per game, and their team earned run average, Rock, is at .685. So they are in the tough stretches right now. The Reds had a 13-game losing streak last year, and that losing streak began right here in Milwaukee. Brandon Phillips is usually all smiles, though, and he's batting in the 3 spot with Votto hitting second, and he swings and grounds one foul. A late swing.
Yeah, a lot of strikes for Zach Davies. Pouring in his strikes. There's a smile for Brandon Phillips. Doesn't take much for him to get a big grin going.
He's still one of the great characters of the game, and still an elite second baseman in the game. Multiple Gold Gloves on his trophy case. Davies has him 0-2, though. Nothing but strikes. 4 for 4 thus far. Make it 5 for 5. Zach has 1 win on the season. 1 win in the big leagues. He beat the Miami Marlins on the road back on May 10th. He lost his first 3 decisions, but has not lost in the month of May. He's coming off a start against the Mets. He went 5 1/3. Ground ball, and that's going to be a base hit. In the hole at short. That's going to be a 2-out infield hit for Brandon Phillips. Well placed.
Now you see Zach Davies just continues to pound the strike zone. That way something off speed. Phillips out in front. Yeah, that would have been an impossible play even if VR is able to make the catch.
It's a 2-out base runner, and that'll bring up Jay Bruce. Going along okay this year. His numbers don't jump off the page, but he does have 8 home runs, 29 runs batted in. Respectable, certainly. A .263 batting average. But we usually don't even bother looking at the stats when it comes to Jay Bruce. He has long been a Brewer killer throughout his career.
And he's had he got a home run off of Zach Davies last year here at Miller Park.
Bruce has more home runs against Milwaukee, 34, than he does against any other opponent. Reds haven't seen a whole lot of Davies. He came to the Brewers from the Baltimore Orioles last year. Part of that trade for Gerardo Parra, as the Orioles were in a pennant race. Parra's now with the Rockies, by the way.
Yeah, pretty good numbers for Jay Bruce. Home runs, RBIs. Always seems to get hot when the Brewers are around.
Well, you think about it. If you played a full season, 162 games, as Bruce rips that one into right field and turning it. Oh, it's off his glove. Flores dropped it. Phillips slowed down, and they're going to have to hold him now at third base.
Yeah, well, he should have scored. I mean, he kind of stopped when he thought Flores was going to make that catch and cost the Reds a run. Boy, with a team that has been struggling like the Reds, you hate to see that. If you're Brian Price, you got to bust it. And there you go again with Jay Bruce taking a pitch out away from hooking it. It should have been caught out there and right. It's probably going to go down as a double, I would think, but a catch it should have been made. He gets there, he just dropped it. And Brandon Phillips should have scored. He slowed down, then has to stay at third.
That cost him. So that will be a double for Bruce. Out of the ordinary for an outfielder, I'm sure, is the reasoning. Second and third for Adam Duvall. Now Davies throwing a lot of strikes. 11 pitches, 8 strikes. Got the first 2 men out. Now back-to-back hits, and Duvall steps in with a batting average of .254. And Duvall hits one deep into left field. That's trouble. That is going to go out of here. A 3-run home run for Duvall. And Zach Davies finds himself behind early as the Reds have come out swinging the bats tonight.
Yeah, 2 outs, nobody on, and 3 consecutive hits, including the homer. Wow, did that happen quickly? Well, he just dialed in the first 2 hitters. You got 2 outs on 2 pitches, and then he lost everything. It was a hanging curveball, and Duvall able to stay back long enough and hook it out of here. Well, for a team that has not been scoring a lot of runs, they hang a 3 spot on Davies in the first.
They've scored more runs in this first inning than they have averaged during this 10-game losing streak per game. For Duvall, that's his 10th home run of the season. Now 22 runs batted in. And the Brewers are going to have to play from behind in this one. Eugenio Suarez is the batter for Cincinnati. He's been a struggling hitter himself. He's mired in the longest slump of his career. He's 0 for 20 at the plate. Batting average all the way down to .227. He was up over 300 through the first chunk of the schedule. That's Marvin Hudson calling the balls and strikes tonight. Home plate umpire. James Hoy, Chad Fairchild, and Jim Joyce on the bases. There's a strikeout to end the inning. So Davies comes out pumping the strikes, but the Reds score 3 with 1 swing of the bat from Adam Duvall. first inning. They scored more in the first inning tonight than they had in the previous 3 games. Retro Friday with the ball and glove look tonight for Milwaukee. Potawatomi batting order for the Brew Crew. You got VR, Perez, and Braun at the top. Craig Counsell has Lucroy, Carter, and Aaron Hill in the middle. And then it's Flores, Broxton, and the pitcher Davies. The lineup that will face left-hander John Lamb came to the Reds from the Kansas City Royals. He was in the Johnny Cueto deal last season.
Now you see his numbers, and he's making start number 4 against Milwaukee. He's 0-1, but the Reds have lost all 3 of his starts. 0-1 in 3 with a .517 earned run average.
5th appearance of the season for Lamb, because he began the year on the disabled list coming through a minor league rehab scenario. He had back surgery this offseason. The Brewers have faced him this year. They saw him in early May just as he was coming back, and had a sprained left thumb in that game. Lasted only 4 innings, so he's been battling injuries, but seems to be healthy now and hitting his stride as we move in towards the month of June. As VR swings and fouls it back, it's 2-2.
Man, not a hard thrower. He's got a pretty good changeup to go with a cutter. He'll sink his fastball and a very slow curveball. He really takes a lot off his curveball. He'll throw that pitch to right-handed hitters. Relies on command.
His last start against Milwaukee lasted just 60 pitches, and he was going along pretty well in that game. He had given up just 1 run in 4 innings before the thumb injury. Cost him his next start, and he's been in the rotation ever since. 2 balls, 2 strikes on VR. Down and in. Count goes full. Jonathan coming off a terrific road trip where he had 9 hits in the 6 games. Had a couple of key hits as well. And there's ball 4. So VR will draw the walk, and the National League leader in stolen bases is aboard to start it offensively.
Well, let's check out the Cincinnati Reds defensively, brought to you by Menards. They've committed 40 errors this year, 2nd most in the National League. Suarez, the biggest culprit. He's got 10 over at third base. And Duvall, Hamilton, and Bruce in the outfield. Cozart, Phillips outstanding up the middle. Joey Votto, the Gold Glover at first, and Cabrera behind home plate.
Reds are still missing Devin Mesoraco, out with a left shoulder injury. Their all-star catcher. A lot of injuries for Cincinnati. They're stacking up pretty quickly, but they do have all of their big name players in the lineup. Hernan Perez gets the spot, batting 2nd here tonight with the left-hander on the mound, working in a platoon with Scooter Gennett.
And Perez with a big hit last night in the 9th inning to give the Brewers a 4-run cushion. And first pitch double, actually triple, scoring a couple of runs.
Had 5 hits on the road trip, did Perez. And those 2 RBIs last night. That was a really important moment in last night's game, as we would find out as the game would go on and get to the late innings, that Craig Counsell was in shutdown mode with 3 of his relievers in the bullpen. So his best 3 relievers, Thornburg, Blazek, and Jeremy Jeffress, were not going to pitch last night. And those 2 runs that Perez drove in stretched it from a 2-run lead to a 4-run lead, which allowed Counsell to bring Carlos Torres back out to pitch a 2nd inning, and Torres notched his 2nd save in as many nights.
Yeah, good night for the Brewers to score 6. Been a while since they've had that many.
Perez, a swing and a miss. Down he goes on strikes. And the first out for Lamb is a strikeout. Here comes Ryan Braun. He's been swinging it well. And he's got a little history here against John Lamb when the hair wasn't so long last year. Had a homer, and then the home run in Cincinnati earlier this year on Mother's Day. 4 for 6 against this left-hander.
Yeah, Brawny having a great start. Had a couple of home runs in an Atlanta series.
A close play over at first base. VR is back. Not only does VR lead the National League in steals, he's also tied for the Major League lead in stolen base with Jose Altuve. That's the National League leaderboard. And 3 of the top 4 in the Central Division of the National League, and 2 of them represented here in this series with Billy Hamilton and Jonathan Villar.
Yeah, it seems like he's always on base, VR. I mean, he has been really good at getting on base in that leadoff spot. Hit her a walk. That big home run yesterday, right before the rain delay. Has reached base safely in 41 of 46 games for VR, the games that he's played.
Well, feels like baseball weather again here in Milwaukee. The roof is open. See some blue sky up above. Looks like all the rain has moved on. Had the roof closed earlier today for batting practice. Reds got here yesterday. They had an off day in Milwaukee yesterday after traveling back from the West Coast. And a sweep at the hands of the Dodgers in LA. They did not hit today. The Brewers had a late night arrival. They did take BP. VR takes off, throw to second, not in time. Number 16 for Jonathan Villar.
Yeah, it took him a while to figure out that move from John Lamb, and got a very good jump. He was kind of eyeballing Lamb out there while Perez was at the plate. And you see that big lead. Anytime you get that front foot beyond the cutout of the grass, you know it's a pretty good size lead. And not a bad throw by Cabrera. Actually, very good throw, but late.
Puts VR into scoring position with Braun at the plate. Ryan's been great in situations like this season. He is batting .405 with runners in scoring position. That's 5th best in the league. And he walks on 4 straight. Lamb working around Braun a little bit.
Yeah, no surprise there, right?
Going to set it up for Jonathan Lucroy. And after the Reds got a 3-run homer in the first, Lucroy steps in there with 2 on and 1 out.
Yeah, once VR stole the bag, you knew the Reds weren't going to be too willing to throw strikes to Ryan Braun. And working him away just about the entire at bat, and walks him on 4 pitches.
The California native. Looks like he's got a lot of dude in him, doesn't he? John Lamb. Two on, 1 out for Lucroy. And he misses. 5 balls in a row delivered by Lamb. And a visit to the mound from his catcher Ramon Cabrera. Quick trip to the mound in this first inning. Lamb is 25 years of age. That was a big deal the Reds did last year. They pulled the plug on the season, tried to get as much as they could for Johnny Cueto, who's ended up with San Francisco this season. But that deal was with the Royals. And the Reds were able to get Lamb and Cody Reed and Brandon Finnegan. Runners go, throw to third, and out at third base. Jonathan Villar just keeps getting thrown out at third base.
Yeah, can't do it. Lucroy at the plate. And once again getting caught going to third with only 1 out. And Craig Counsell showing a little frustration right there. And there's a good throw by Cabrera right on the bag. And Villar slides right into the tag. That's a big out. That's a perfect throw.
Yeah, right on the bag. Brewers are going to take a quick look at this. That throw had something on it, and Suarez didn't have to move the glove. And he wants to take a look at it. Well, this could be big. Villar, really the only negative in his game, and in it, there are significant positives in his game. Significant. All around the field. Defensively, the way he's hitting, his power recently, his extra base hits. But he does get thrown out at third a lot.
Yeah.
And it has killed many rallies for the Brewers.
You see, does he get that hand in there before the tag? He might have done it. He might have been in there safely, and we'll see what they say in New York, but check out the slide. This will be a pretty good indicator right here.
Looks like he tagged the ground.
Yeah, he tagged the ground and then swiped with the hand and got the arm, but it looked like maybe the hand got in there. Right there, you see, he hits the ground. Now the tag is applied, and maybe after the hand hits the bag. But the one thing you don't want to do, you don't want to get thrown out at first base when you're down by 3 runs. You just don't want to do it.
Right. So the crew chief is Jim Joyce. He's also the calling umpire. They bring over the home plate umpire Marvin Hudson, number 51 there, and they just showed the replay on the big screen. Marvin Hudson took a peek at it. Brewers fans think it's going to be overturned.
Yeah, Villar thought he was out. He just ran off. You don't want to do that. And Villar grabbing a helmet and getting ready to get back to third base after seeing that replay. But you're the leadoff hitter. You got Braun, Lucroy, Carter. You got to be careful on the bases. You got to pick your spots. Can't be getting thrown out ever with those guys coming up, but particularly when you're already down by 3.
Jim Joyce is patiently waiting. It's out of the umpire's hands here at Miller Park. There are league umpires in the replay review facility in New York, in Chelsea, New York. And they'll let Jim Joyce know what they come up with. They're probably looking at multiple angles and stitching multiple angles together. We had a tour of that facility a couple of years ago. It is something.
Impressive, isn't it?
You think it's the greatest man cave you've ever seen in your life. Let's put it that way.
Every game's on and a lot of different angles.
Huge monitors, all HD. They've got replay machines and technicians that can call up different plays, different angles. This is a long review, and Joyce is going to the headset. So here comes the call, and we got a safe call, overturned. So like we always said, if you're going to steal third base, you got to make sure you make it. Good job, Jonathan.
Yeah. Not only does Villar get a stolen base, now Ryan Braun gets one. There you go. Don't be so anxious to leave third base in that situation. Not that it matters.
2 minutes 40 seconds on the review. Goes in the Brewers' favor. Normally when they take that long, they usually stick with what was called on the field.
Yeah.
Not this time. So Villar with 2 steals in this inning. And now Lucroy, a base hit. He could bring in a pair. And that one's high in the air, left center field. And Hamilton is there to make the catch. Villar will tag, and he will score, and the Brewers are on the board.
Yeah, just missed it. Lucroy had a rough road trip offensively. He just missed that one. Now there you go, the replay. Now they overturn the call at third base, and the Brewers get a run out of it.
Important to score right away after giving up 3 in the first. So you just wonder, does that make Villar think, I think I'm going to be more careful next time trying to steal third? Or does he just say, well, now I'm safe. I'm in.
Still a little bit too close when you're down by 3. I mean, game will dictate, how aggressive you have to be on the bases. When you're down by 3 runs, and got to play it safe, particularly when the big boys are coming up.
The biggest boy of them all is Chris Carter, who is 3rd in the National League in homers with 13. You don't quite appreciate how massive Chris Carter is until you stand next to him. At 6'4" plus. Cespedes is the league leader in homers, and then Arenado of the Rockies.
Here's that slow curve ball. Doesn't barely ever reach 70 miles an hour. 68 on the gun. Kind of just drops it in there out of the strike zone.
Works as a change of pace, doesn't it?
He's got that and a straight changeup. Fastball at 90. That curveball at 68.
Well, he's got Carter in a 1-2 count. Braun with good speed at second base, and he takes off. And Carter takes a ball in, and Ryan Braun will steal third. 4 stolen bases in the inning for the Brewers. 2 each for Braun and Villar.
Yeah, Phillips really wasn't doing much to keep Braun close at second base.
Carter is the Brewers' RBI leader with 31. Got a runner at third with 2 outs, and that one's popped up in the infield. Brandon Phillips wants it, and that will retire the side. So the Reds get 3 in the first. The Brewers get 1. Villar with a couple of bags scores the run. We go to the second.
A 3-1 lead over the Brewers, and Jonathan Villar's base running certainly an impact there right away in the first inning, and it was the topic of conversation with Craig Counsell before today's game. Villar stealing second and then nearly thrown out at third before the review, and Counsell said certainly if you're going to point out his base running mistakes, you have to also acknowledge the times when he steals second to win a game like he did on Wednesday night. So he said we have to take those mistakes and certainly learn from them, and he says but you also have to acknowledge that he is forcing some of these issues on the base side, putting pressure on the pitchers. So he said we want to continue to see improvement from him in that regard, but he's experiencing a lot as a player, not just at the plate, on the base paths, and defensively as well.
And Sophia, I thought it was funny, you know, Counsell, he's very media savvy. He spent some time as a broadcaster before he went down to the managerial ranks, but he was kind of poking us today, not us, me and you, but the media. And you are a part of the media, right?
No.
Oh, okay.
No,
well,
no.
Us meaning me and Sophia.
Right.
But he was saying, look, if you're going to make comments about his base running, his outs, make sure you're bringing up the fact that he's stealing bases that are winning games.
Tell the whole story.
He's coming up with big moments. And I think basically the way to sum it all up, because Brewers fans are so familiar with the Carlos Gomez story and what Carlos was on the base paths, I thought Ron Renicky unfairly caught a lot of criticism because of Gomez. I think it works the same way with Villar and Craig Counsell. There are times when the manager would like him not to run, but as he says, you don't want to coach that aggressiveness out of him.
Well, you can always put the stop sign on him. That's one thing you can do. I mean, a lot of times, and you know he's got the green light. He can go whenever he feels like he gets a jump, but you know, there are times when there is a sign, and even Gomez had that sign saying, no, you're not running right now. Just stay put. And maybe that's a way to avoid some of those base running mistakes. And when you steal third base like you did there in the first inning, you better make sure you're going to make it and make it easily. He did not. But it's not so much just getting thrown out stealing. It's going to set, you know, from being at second, going to third on the ball hit in front of you. Those are the mistakes that you should never make, whether you're a rookie or a 20-year veteran.
And then there is that notion in the big leagues, and it does exist, when you have your best hitters up there, guys like Braun, Lucroy, Carter, there's a little bit of a distraction factor when you're trying to steal third base. And most middle of the order hitters in the major leagues, if they're established at all, they don't like that movement behind the pitcher. Good bounce back inning here for Davies. 3 up, 3 down. He got Hamilton, Cabrera, and Lamb. And we're headed to the bottom of the second.
This Sunday, kids 14 and under can show off their artistic talents with the Paint Your Own Bernie Brewer bobblehead, courtesy of Waterstone Bank. Plus, kids will eat free, enjoy a free lunch, compliments of Pick and Save, Blue Bunny, and Heinz. Reserve your spot today at Brewers.com.
I'm going with the clear coat primer right here. I'm starting to lose a little bit of vision. Aaron Hill starts it, swings at the first pitch, and one away. Everybody's swinging early today. Aggressive.
I heard you were a good painter when you were younger.
You know, at one point,
could have gone pro.
I was thinking about going pro and painting, professional painter. You know, I did take second place in the Aquafest Awards one year.
If you want to make a comeback, you can paint my garage.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be good. I like painting garages. There's a lot of creativity in that for me.
Good start.
You just get a new garage.
Could do that.
That's been kind of the way you've gone.
Gets dirty, get a new one?
Yeah, it gets dirty, get a new one. Look out. Boy, a shot into the seats. I hope everybody's all right up there. I think so. Got to pay attention. Some scary line drives. Brewers did add some netting this year, and all around Major League Baseball. It was up to the clubs to add that if they chose to. And it has helped for sure, but there are still a lot of line drives in the seats.
Yeah, from
we don't want to see anybody get hurt.
Yeah, end of the dugouts to around the other side. You have to pay attention. Even when you pay attention, sometimes you're going to get one, but got to keep your eye on that baseball when they're playing.
There's a base hit down the left field line. Flores will hold up at first base. Good idea.
And nice swing right there for Ramon Flores. That was a beauty. Yeah, the only left-handed hitter in the lineup. And that fastball, Ramon able to stay right on it, get on top of it, and slice it down the left field line. That's a beauty. Well done.
Ramon's starting to get some playing time here recently. Had a 3 RBI game in New York against the Mets. Hit a home run. His first big league home run in New York, as a matter of fact. And he's back in there tonight. He delivers with a single, and that'll bring up Keon Broxton. Flores had his first major league homer, and Broxton collected his first major league hit on the last road trip. Broxton's hit was on a bunt, on a sacrifice bunt that was so good it wasn't a sacrifice. Ended up being a base hit.
Yeah, pitcher, he popped it up. The pitcher dove for it, missed it, and it was a base hit. First and second, nobody out. Ended up bases loaded, nobody out.
Broxton's been good defensively. You could tell why the Brewers are high on him, hoping he'll hit. He went to AAA and he hit. Had a 12-game hitting streak at one point.
Just needs a good game to get the confidence going, that's all.
He went down to Colorado Springs. He hit .301 and over 100 at-bats. And he hit for some power as well. Look at these numbers here for Keon Broxton. So he started the year in the big leagues with the Brewers. They sent him back. And he hit his way back to the major leagues with a .301 average, 7 home runs, 18 RBIs. In 25 games he did all of that. He also stole 15 bases in those 25 games.
Yeah, impact player down in Colorado Springs, you bet.
That ball's ripped. Base hit. Over to cut it off is Duvall. That's going to keep Flores at second, and there you go. Keon Broxton hits that one sharply.
Yeah, it's got to feel good for the kid right there. Yeah, I'd smile too. He's been waiting for that one. Yeah, made a mistake out over the plate. There's that fastball. Actually, cutter that stayed out away from Broxton and able to turn on it and rip it out into left field. Nice short stroke. Just needs a couple of those, and he's going to turn things around. Everybody on the team knows he's been grinding, and everybody happy for him.
2 on for the pitcher, Davies. And he shows bunt. That's a good one. Lamb's got it. Fires to first. And it is in time. That was a good play by Phillips. That throw was coming across the baseline, almost as if he threw a cutter or a slider over there to first base on accident.
There's never any panic in the game for Brandon Phillips. I mean, he's very nonchalant a lot of times, but always ends up making a play. And no problem, able to catch the baseball, keep the foot on the bag, and avoid contact with Davies. That's Brandon Phillips. Good play.
You see the quick switch of the feet on the bag. So it's a sacrifice, puts runners at second and third. A base hit could tie this game in the second inning. And Jonathan Villar takes strike one. Quickly 0-2. Villar has more power as a right-handed batter. He only has 2 homers, but you can see the pop that he has from his natural side, the right side. He hit a long home run last night. He hit a home run that when you see that ball fly, you think, okay, this guy's got a chance to be a double-digit home run hitter in the big leagues.
Still young, still learning.
1-2 pitch inside, ball 2. This one, not only did it travel far, but he kept it fair, which was most impressive. Powerball home run number 2 for Villar.
Yeah, first pitch from Kroll, the left-hander. Tried to bust him inside, nothing doing.
And a call at strike 3. Knew it and fooled him. Caught him guessing. And Lamb strands 2 in scoring position.
Here in Milwaukee, the Reds have a 3-1 lead over the Brewers. As we head to the third, and in our T-Mobile greater coverage of baseball, we go around with some of the storylines in baseball today. Jackie Bradley Jr., his 29-game hitting streak was snapped last night against the Rockies. He went 0 for 4, but during that streak, some impressive numbers. The average over 400, the 8 home runs, 30 RBIs as well. Julio Urias made his debut tonight for the Dodgers against the Mets. Significant because he is just 19 years old. He's actually already out of that game. He went 2 2/3, gave up 5 hits and 3 runs, and the Astros as well, a record-setting series for them, against Baltimore, a team 52 strikeouts.
It's amazing, right, that this guy at 19 years of age, he makes his major league debut. He does it in New York, and he gave up 3 runs in his first inning. He ends up going 2 2/3, as Sophia mentioned. Julio Urias, we saw him in spring training.
Yeah.
And he's from Mexico. And you think about all the hype that is being placed on him when you think about a left-hander from Mexico pitching for the Dodgers.
Yeah,
Fernando
what are you
Mania.
thinking, right? Yep.
And we heard all that this spring. They finally bring him up, and he'll be just fine. He's a great talent. Zach Davies facing Zach Cozart.
Amazing, and 19 years old in the big leagues, right? Incredible. A lot of pressure on the kid.
Little jam shot, ground ball to second. Davies as out number 1. He's retired 5 in a row after he gave up the 3-run homer to Adam Duvall in the first. Davies got the first 2 men out in that first inning, and then an infield hit by Phillips. Bruce had a double that should have been caught. It's not enough to be an error, but certainly Ramon Flores was there and would tell you he could have made the catch. That would have ended the inning. Instead, the next man, Duvall, hit a 3-run homer. And the Brewers are in catch-up mode here. Votto swung at the first pitch his last time up. He grounded to short.
Man, look at the numbers for Votto. Wow. That's something you're hardly ever going to see. Joey Votto down around 200.
Low on base percentage as well. .335 on base. Hitting for very little power. Does have 6 homers. Just un-Votto-like, the former MVP, who is in the middle of a massive contract.
And Votto's always, around, the same amount of walks as strikeouts. He's got twice as many strikeouts right now, or very close to walks. That's very unusual for him.
Choking up on the bat significantly here with 2 strikes. And down he goes, a strikeout. Votto is gone.
Right down the middle. Votto's always going to choke up a lot more with 2 strikes, but never that much. I don't remember him, being that high off the knob of the bat. I mean, look how high up he is. I mean, you don't see guys do that anymore. That's about what, 3-4 inches, maybe more.
He's just not right.
Swinging right through it.
Kind of reminds me of what we saw with Freddie Freeman in Atlanta. Star players who are struggling mightily for their teams right now. Curveball buckles the knees of Brandon Phillips. Davies gets ahead. Zach's strike percentage is great right now. 35 pitches. He's got 25 strikes. Maybe too many strikes in that first inning.
Yeah, well, he hung a curveball that Duvall hit out of the ballpark. Other than that, the curveball's been a pretty good pitch for him. Man, that's a lot of strikes.
Oh, 0-2 to Phillips. Count stays at 0-2. Brandon had a chance to go to a contender this offseason. Looked like the Reds had a trade with the Washington Nationals all set up. And Brandon Phillips vetoed that trade. His 10-5 rights. 10 years in the league, 5 with the same team, and decided he was content right where he is in Cincinnati.
They have a chance to win a world championship with the Nationals.
And his old manager there as well,
Right.
Dusty Baker. I think that's why most thought that was a done deal.
Interesting.
But the Nats went out and signed Daniel Murphy, and he's tearing it up right now. He's the National League leader in batting average. Two and two now on Phillips.
That pitch right there, Major League Baseball is considering calling a strike next year. That high strike. Anything around the belt's not called these days.
Pitchers will certainly make the adjustments, you would think. There's a pop-up, got in on the hands of Phillips. And Aaron Hill is going to make the call in the catch. And Zach Davies, 2 tidy innings. He's retired 7 straight. Friday night baseball at Miller Park. Brewers Reds tonight, and our Carsheet.com trivia. Who is the only Brewers player to hit for the cycle at Miller Park? The only one. This ballpark opened in 2001. Now there is a current Brewers player that hit for the cycle here, but he didn't do it as a Brewer. Talking about Aaron Hill. Hernan Perez on the first pitch. 6-3 put out for the first out of the 3rd inning.
Were you here for that cycle?
I was. Not what do you mean, Aaron Hill cycle or the?
No, the only Brewer cycle.
No, I was not here for that.
I remember that one. It was a catcher. Matter of fact, most of the Brewers cycles in their history have come from catchers.
I mean, most of the greatest people are catchers in Brewers history, like yourself.
Yeah.
The Wall of Honor member.
Yeah.
Bill Schroeder. There's a strike to Ryan Braun.
But I know Charlie Moore had a cycle, right?
Right.
Of course, Robin had one. Mike Hegan had a cycle. But none of those came at Miller Park.
No cycle for Ryan Braun. He does have a nice little streak going right now, though. After his walk in the first, he has extended his on-base streak to 29 consecutive games, which is a new career high. Out in front, pop up to Phillips. That curve that is, as they say, below radar.
Right. Below hitting speed, right? Well, they're closing the roof. There must be some weather coming in. Close your windows at home.
Forgot about that.
We had the air conditioning on today.
Is that right?
So windows are closed. I don't like sweating in the house.
And you know, that can be an issue. There's a sweat issue with you.
Yeah. That's why the air's on.
Pores are wide open.
Big people sweat.
I saw you have the breeze machine working tonight over there. That's a nice touch.
I brought a fan down for Davey and Craig too down at the set. They're going to need it once they close that roof.
Lucroy deep to left field. And there she goes. A home run for Jonathan Lucroy. Brewers are within a run.
Well, 2 RBIs for Lucroy. He just missed one his last time up. Well, talk about squaring it up that time. That was way back and left. Well, get hot, Luke. Had a rough road trip. There's that cut fastball, the same pitch that Kean Broxton hit for a single. Well, he knew as soon as he made contact that was a big fly. And so did John Lamb.
That is a long, long way out there. We're going to have to get a measurement on that one. 430, maybe 440 out to that part of the ballpark. Lucroy with his 7th home run. They have all come in the month of May. And the Brewers now within a run. Chris Carter takes a ball. Carter has hit 8 home runs in the month of May. He's got 13 for the season. Right off the end of the bat. That's just what Rock's talking about. Below hitting speed. You throw it slow enough where even a big league hitter trying to slow his swing down just enough.
Even the double clutch, and you still can't, wait back long enough sometimes. Then he comes back with the heater at 90 and jams you.
Greg Counsell has seen his team play well. 3-3 road trip, but got swept by the Mets and were in every game. They were all low scoring affairs. As a matter of fact, the Brewers had a string snap yesterday with their 4-run win. Had a string snapped of 11 consecutive games decided by 2 runs or fewer. It was a 6-2 win last night. It's the 2nd longest streak for the Brewers of games decided by 2 runs or fewer.
And the Brewers are winning some of these games because their starting pitching has turned things around nicely this month. And not much else is really that much different. I mean, they have been scoring a few more runs, but it's a bit deceiving because in 3 different games this year they combined for 37 runs. So they've had some big run totals.
Called strike 3. Lamb punches out Carter to end the inning. However, Jonathan Lucroy, he's been in a slump. Maybe he's coming out of it. Long home run to deep left center. And the Brewers are down 3-2 to the Reds. run as we go to the fourth. Hey, a reminder here, you can stream the Brewers on the go. Stop by the Fox Sports Go booth on Wednesday, June 1st. It'll be the Brewers and the Cardinals to wrap up this homestand. You can download the app. You get a free prize. Just visit foxsportswisconsin.com. Click on the upcoming events tab. As the roof is almost sealed up once again. Started with it open. It was closed for batting practice. And some rain in the area, so they usually don't go back and forth twice. So I think from now on we're probably under a closed roof situation the rest of the way.
Well, the glass panels are open, which means you're going to get a little air blowing through here, so keep things a little bit cooler. Could have used that roof last night.
Yes, we could have. Turner Field, downtown Atlanta, does not have a roof. And there was an hour and 17-minute rain delay in the 7th inning last night.
Yeah, and the new ballpark's not going to have one either. What are they thinking?
I don't know. It's shameful.
I mean, it is.
Jay Bruce off the end of the bat. Pops it sky high. Skims the roof. And VR makes a catch. Not really. He didn't really come close to the roof. That's the one great thing about this roof. I've seen maybe 2 in my career that have hit something up there, the retaining wires, but those have both been in foul territory.
Yeah, I mean, nobody's hit the roof. The retaining wires, yes. In foul territory, you're right.
Not like the Metrodome in Minneapolis back in the day. Saw Prince Fielder have an inside the park home run in the Metrodome. He hit a speaker. Just kept running.
Yeah, a lot of baseballs hit the roof in Tampa.
They have the rings in Tampa, the A, B, C, and D ring. And I remember doing the Rays in the playoffs a few years back. Felt like I was studying for the bar, preparing for all the possibilities that the rings would present. Not that I've ever studied for the bar, but I hear it's tough.
Did you study those ground rules? That's the analyst job, isn't it?
Sometimes.
Sometimes?
Sometimes. Just depends.
Have you ever worked with Brian Anderson, the analyst?
The Tampa Bay Rays analyst?
Right.
We've done a few pregame shows together. Brian Anderson and Brian, I get his paychecks every now and then, which is fun. He doesn't know that, though, so.
He just thinks they don't pay him.
Let's just keep that to ourselves out there, folks. A swing and a miss and a strikeout for Davies. He gets Duvall, who had homered off him last time up. And Zach with his 3rd K.
Yep, changeup this time. Duvall hit a curveball out of the ballpark his last time up, but way out in front of the change. Wasn't about to make that mistake again. 3 fastballs and a changeup to get him.
2 outs in the inning. This is one of those games you look at it on paper, and if you're checking the box score elsewhere, you see, wow, Zach Davies, he's really struggling tonight. He's given up 3 runs already, 3+ innings. But to the contrary, he made 1 bad pitch that cost him 3 runs. And I would say outside of that, he's been dominant.
Yeah. He's able to keep the baseball down, working all of his pitches and working on the edges, which is what he has to do. And once again, establishing fastball early in the game. A lot of the Brewers starters have been doing that with success.
You look at Zach Davies, and it's what makes the game great. All shapes and sizes. He's got that boyish look. Only weighs about 155 pounds. But he is a fierce competitor.
And with a lot of confidence in himself. That's all it takes, confidence. At this level.
It's from the Seattle area. 3-2 pitch. Suarez chops it foul.
Confidence and a good changeup.
You don't make it to this level without confidence, but then there's another level that I think a lot of players don't even realize or aren't even aware of when you get to the big leagues, because there's plenty of swagger to go around in a big league clubhouse. It's a remarkable accomplishment just to make it here. I mean, the odds are crazy to get here, and then you get here and you realize it's a room full of alpha dogs, and you've got to find another level of confidence, and you've got to make sure that you maintain that. I think when you look at a guy like Willie Peralta or Matt Harvey, I think those are guys that have lost confidence. And Joey Votto maybe right now.
Yeah, getting here is tough. Staying here is even tougher.
Full count, 2 outs to Suarez. Got him. Strikeout for Davies. Got him with a fastball. Back-to-back Ks gives him 4 for the night. And he's retired 10 in a row since the first inning homer. Tonight we are hosting 5 Stars and Stripes Honor Flight participants in our suite, including Korean War veteran Leroy Wagner. Leroy works the parking lot here at Miller Park. We've seen Jonathan Lucroy participate. He went on an honor flight last year. Also have representatives from Fisher House, Wisconsin, who recently celebrated their grand opening. We've been supporting that development and that program for a while now. It's great to see it come to fruition. Hi, folks.
Yep, they know they're on television. Also a World War II veteran out there, Gene Schultz.
Aaron Hill leads off
as we approach Memorial Day.
Korean War Marine Sergeant Chuck Bellendorf of Franklin is up there as well. So we welcome all of those folks as Hill turns on one. That's back. Aaron Hill, and it is a home run just inside the foul pole. All tied at 3.
Now, talk about going down and getting one. That's what Aaron Hill did right that time. Trying to level out that swing. Check it out. A changeup, and he just waits back. He tries to keep that bat in the hitting zone as long as he can. And not only hits it hard, but keeps it fair. And our honor flight guests here tonight, happy about that home run.
Ramon Flores on the first pitch, grounds out. I tell you, there's something about the Reds and Aaron Hill. He's hit 5 home runs this year. 3 of those came in one game against Cincinnati, in a game where he hit 3, including a grand slam, and drove in 7. And his 4th homer against the Reds of the season here tonight. It ties it at 3. The Reds jump started early with a 3-run homer by Adam Duvall. And the Brewers have fought their way back.
Well, it's just, I guess, a scatter report that certain teams have on certain hitters that doesn't work all the time. And well, got Lamb that time, and that 3 home run game.
Keon Broxton to right. Oh, what a catch by Bruce, but he drops the ball in and out of his glove, and Broxton is in with a double.
Almost had it. He had it in the glove, but just couldn't hold on to it. Couldn't keep it in the glove, and well, Keon Broxton, boy, when you see him doing that, you know he's starting to feel a little bit better at the plate. A hanging curveball. And Jay Bruce is going to make that play most of the time. He just dropped it. That's going to be a double. Well, if the one in the first inning was a double, that certainly is. And he's 2 for 2.
It'll be his first career double in the big leagues. And Broxton has squared up twice. Look out. Maybe a hot streak coming for Keon.
Just takes one, right?
That's
Get
what
that
you
confidence
said.
going.
We just talked about that last inning. Got that first major league hit. Took him all the way to the 3rd week of May to finally get that one on the board. Zach Davies.
Hey, you get that big hit out of the way, that line drive his first time up, and you see the way he was able to wait back on that curveball. He was much more relaxed, not jumping at the baseball like he's been doing most of the time since he's been here.
Will pop up into shallow right, and Bruce hauls it in for the 2nd out. Broxton will hold his ground at 2nd.
It's like a big deep breath you get, when you hit a ball that way the first time up, and it kind of changes everything for you. It's about confidence in your abilities, and sometimes you question that when you're going through stretches like Broxton's been going through, but you snap out of it at some point.
Top of the order with the speedy Broxton at 2nd. Here's VR. That slow breaking ball. Jonathan walked, stole 2 bases, and scored a run in the 1st inning. And then he struck out looking in the 2nd. Lamb surprised him with a fastball. He got in on his hands that time. Jonathan VR. It's not like he is bursting on the scene here. He was one of the top prospects in the Phillies organization. They traded him to the Astros. Lost his way a little bit with Houston, and of course kind of got rolled up in the tide of Carlos Correa, who was the 1st pick overall, and Correa ended up making it to the big leagues last year, supplanting VR from the shortstop position, and then Correa ended up winning the Rookie of the Year last year. So he's kind of been in that spot. He's still young. He's still considered a high upside player, meaning his talent could certainly make him an everyday player, potentially an all-star player if he honed a few of the skills, which I think he's doing here in Milwaukee.
Well, he was picked up to hold the seat until Arcia is ready, but the way he's playing, he's going to play somewhere.
And he lines out into left. That's fair. A base hit into the corner. Broxton will score the go-ahead run, and VR is in with a double. 4-3 Milwaukee as VR strikes again.
No, waiting back again. Looked like something off speed down and in. He just golfs it down the line. It is changeup, and he just waits back on it. Lamb's getting hurt badly on that changeup tonight. And VR able to rifle one down the line. Broxton able to score. So the bottom of the order doing a pretty good job tonight. Think about all the hits from 6 all the way down. 4 hits.
Mark Riggins is the Reds pitching coach. Broxton's double. He scores on VR's double. Inning started with a home run by Aaron Hill. 4 unanswered for the Brewers after the Reds got 3 with 1 swing of the bat by their left fielder Adam Duvall in the first inning.
That guy loves playing baseball, Jonathan Villar. He just has an incredible amount of energy. He plays just about every day. Hasn't taken too many days off, 3, and that's it.
Perez takes a strike. I think what's most impressive about Villar is now having seen him and watching him work and do the things that all the little things that good players need to do that are behind the scenes, away from the crowds, all the extra work that goes into it. He and Carlos Subero, the infield coach of the Brewers, they have spent a lot of time working on the finer points of infield play. The transition from glove to hand, moving to the backhand, all these little subtleties that he keeps atop of. That's a base hit by Perez, and they're going to send Villar. The throw from left, and the tag, not in time. Villar scores. Hernan Perez with an RBI, and it's 5-3 Milwaukee.
Well, the hits keep coming for the Brewers. That one just out of the reach of Cozart. And there aren't going to be too many guys that Ed Ceder's going to be able to send on that, but Villar's one of them. That ball hit like a bullet, almost too hard to send the runner from second base, but Villar very fast. And check it out, Duvall has the baseball before Villar touches third. And he cut that base nicely. Our Badger Mutual Insurance run of the game. Another base hit by Hernan Perez to score a run.
Good slide to the infield side of the plate. 3 runs are in. The Brewers lead by 2. Here's Ryan Braun now with Perez at second. And Braun quite possibly could deliver a knockout punch for left-hander John Lamb.
Yeah, that was a cutter that Perez hit. He's been hurt tonight on that changeup. Curveball's been hanging up there.
Saw Josh Smith down in the bullpen for Cincinnati. '29 consecutive games on base for Braun. Best mark of his career, now in his 10th season in the big leagues. Came up in '07 in late May. It was right about this time, as a matter of fact, in 2007. Made his major league debut in San Diego. I believe he hit second that first night, and then the next night he hit third, and that's pretty much where he's been for his career. There was a little window there when Prince Fielder and Braun were in the lineup together that they put Fielder third and Braun fourth, and that was quickly eliminated.
That was squashed by one of them. I'm not sure who it was. I think it was Prince.
I think Ned Yost said Prince Fielder walked in his office and said, put that back. Put that back the way it was. As Braun draws the walk. Second time he's walked. And the clock is ticking here for John Lamb, and that's going to do it. So Brian Price, the former pitching coach, has seen enough from his left-hander. And a struggle today. His team gave him a 3-run lead in the first inning. And he's going to be out of here in the 4th. Brewers have scored 3 in this inning. They lead by 2, and they're still at it. We've got a pitching change at Miller Park. Johnson is brought to you by Hupy and Abraham. 1-800-800-5678. Hupy and Abraham. Tell them you mean business. Well, the Brewers have found their offense. They have knocked left-hander John Lamb out of the game. He has surrendered 7 hits and right now 5 runs. Still 2 runners are his responsibility. And Rocket's going to be Josh Smith coming out of the bullpen early here tonight. Just his 2nd big league appearance.
Yeah, he got called up from AAA Louisville. You know, that appearance came against the Dodgers. A third of an inning, gave up a hit. And not much else on. A 4-pitch pitcher, a guy that has the repertoire of a starter, but basically a long reliever. You figure Brian Price is going to need him to eat up a few innings here tonight.
Jonathan Lucroy at the plate, presented by Blaze Pizza. Almost had a homer in the first, a narrow miss on the bat. That was a sac fly. And then he launched one out of here in the 3rd inning. Lucroy with his 7th home run last inning. 2 on, 2 out. Well, Lucroy, 2 outs in the 3rd, left the bat at 100.9 miles an hour, and it was way back.
Yeah, right down the middle of the plate, up in the zone, and got full contact that time.
He's ahead in the count, 2-0. Lucroy to left. That ball's hit well. And Duvall can't get it. And it one-hops up and out. Perez will score. Braun right behind him. He'll score.
Umpires didn't see it go off the Friday sign, and Braun's probably going to have to come back. Boy, Lucroy on an 2-0 pitch got a fastball and rifles it. Yep, it does hop off the Friday sign. The umpires didn't see it.
Now, there was no call made. That wall is about 6 feet behind the fence, and it does ricochet like that. So they come together, and they're going to place Braun back at 3rd base. That actually hurts Lucroy. There's the difference in the space between the outfield wall and the wall that supports the restaurant.
Yeah, I mean, that was clear from where we saw it, right there, right below the black part of the sign. Umpire's not able to see it. Jim Joyce didn't see it. He was looking at it, not sure why he didn't see it that way, but you know, Braun's going to have to go back to 3rd base.
Well, they all get together and they quickly resolve it. It is 6-3 now. Lucroy has driven in runs in each of his first 3 at-bats. And now Carter into right center. Bruce converges, and he's got it for the out. What an inning for the Brewers, and it started with a bang as Aaron Hill launched one. Hill's 5th home run of the year, that tied it, and then VR broke the tie with a base hit, an RBI double, and then Hernan Perez adds to it. He and Lucroy with ribbies. 6-3 Milwaukee after 4. lead at 6-3 as we go to the 5th inning. And Zach Davies now getting plenty of run support. The Brewers just scored 4 in the bottom of the 4th. And Davies, who had that one mistake, a 3-run homer from Adam Duvall in the first. But since that time, Zach has retired 10 in a row. He has 4 strikeouts in that stretch. He has back-to-back Ks leading into this inning. Facing Billy Hamilton, the switch-hitting center fielder, who is now 0 for his last 12 at the plate. I think for now the experiment to have Hamilton lead off is on the back burner. They've always wanted him to be a leadoff hitter, but just has not been able to get on base at a high enough clip. And his on-base percentage this year, Rock, is .264.
Yeah, and because of that, he's only got 8 stolen bases.
He is the fastest player in the big leagues. Got impressive stolen base numbers early in his career. Will he hit enough to challenge some of the great base stealers in baseball history? And he slaps that one into the opposite field, a base hit.
And the other thing about Hamilton is not just not getting the hits. You mentioned the on-base percentage. He's only walked 6 times. And you like your leadoff hitter to be able to do a little bit better job of that, getting on base.
He's had back-to-back years of at least 56 steals. Had 56 2 years ago, 57 stolen bases last year. Significantly cut down on his caught stealing from 14 to 15, though. He led the league in times caught stealing in 2014. But last year he was only caught 8 times to go along with those 57 bags.
Yeah, just because you're fast doesn't mean you're a good base stealer. And you learn moves, you learn pitchers. And he really doesn't have to get a very big lead to be able to steal bases. He's that fast. He doesn't have that big a lead right now. What you have to do is you got to make him stop. You can't let him keep those feet moving and throw the baseball to home plate. Make it easy on him.
Hamilton, as a minor leaguer, set the minor league baseball record for steals in a season. 155 stolen bases in a minor league season. 2012.
And that's 140 games, 142 games.
For him that year, he played in 132 games. He stole 155 bases.
That's basically stealing second and third just about every time.
But you know what? To your point, he had high walk numbers that year. Ground ball over the head of Carter, base hit. And Hamilton racing to third. Ramon Cabrera with a single. And suddenly the Reds are threatening here in the 5th. Runners at the corners with nobody out.
And nice hop for Cabrera right over the glove of Chris Carter. It beats it into the ground, but bounces it over Carter's head because he's holding the runner. And Billy Hamilton easily into third base.
Another example of how even the threat of a stolen base can change things defensively for a team. And if Carter can't reach it, no first baseman can at his size. First and third, nobody out. Tyler Holt will pinch hit for Cincinnati. It's always a tough call for a manager in a spot like this in the National League. Your starter is out early. Lamb goes 3 2/3. You bring in a reliever to finish the inning. Pitcher spot now is due up, and you probably let that relief pitcher bat in a lot of scenarios, but you got a chance to score some runs here. Yeah, so
only down by 3.
Now you're going to dive back into your bullpen early. Reds did have a day off yesterday, so able to reset their bullpen somewhat.
Well, the Reds have 8 relievers in the pen. That might have something to do with Ryan Price pulling his first reliever out so quickly.
Holt in the air to right center. Broxton will range over. This is going to score a run as Hamilton comes in. And the pinch hitter delivers with a sacrifice fly. Tyler Holt with an RBI to make it 6-4 Milwaukee. And back to the top of the order now, and Zach Cozart. Nice play over there. The ball girl picking it as usual.
Right in front of the tarp that has never been used.
I'm not even real sure there's a tarp under there, actually. It's just a thing to hold up an advertisement.
You got to have one if you have a retractable roof, just in case the roof doesn't work.
Whose ever idea it was from Syndics to put that there, they get the day off Monday.
Everybody gets Monday off.
Oh, we'll be here.
That's right.
There goes the runner. Swing and a miss. Lucroy double clutch. Still able to throw him out. Lucroy lost the handle, got it back, and still fired a strike.
What's that? 7 in a row now for Lucroy? 6 in a row for Lucroy. Wow, he's been right on the money with these throws. And even getting Cabrera, the catcher, when he double clutches. Boy, a nice throw right on the money. And boy, he's been lights out lately. You can see that. You're not going to get many guys doing that, but you might get the catcher. And a good tag out there by Aaron Hill.
There's an R to that as well, the tag. Aaron Hill lets that ball travel all the way in, and then a quick catch and a tag.
Doesn't make many mistakes out there, does he? I mean, he might make an error, he might miss a ground ball, make a bad throw, but as far as, you know, the mechanics of the position, he's not going to make too many mistakes.
And a ground ball right to him, smothers it. Hill will make the play, and Davies is out of the inning. Inning started with 2 hits, a run scores, but the Brewers still lead by 2, and Hill leads off. Here at Miller Park in the first game of this 3-game series. Let's check in on our Carsoup.com trivia. Who is the only Brewer player to hit for the cycle at Miller Park? If you said Chad Moeller, you would be correct. He did it against the Reds. But the fact he was a catcher, that's why we loved it so much. Yep, had a home run. And then the next one, he actually broke his bat. And that was scored as a double. And then the triple off the wall for Moeller. All this coming back to you, partner?
That is. I remember the single was the last one.
Look who the
Davey,
first base coach.
handsome devil, isn't he?
George Kataris, another catcher, is the last to have a cycle for the Brewers. That was back in 2011.
Yeah, 3 of them catchers. Who would have thought, right?
Look at Davey looking sharp, saying, good job, Chad. I told you you'd hit for the cycle one day. There he is. He's like, I remember that.
The coach.
Dion Diaz is the new Reds pitcher, Rock. And we're playing the bottom of the 5th. You see the numbers on Diaz.
Yeah, it's been a revolving door in that Reds bullpen. Matter of fact, the Reds bullpen dead last in all of baseball as far as earned run average go, almost 6.5. Matter of fact, the Cincinnati bullpen is a 649 earned run average coming into tonight.
Well, let's just say there are open doors that Brian Price is awaiting someone to walk through. You start to ask those who cover the Reds, well, you know, what's your setup getting to the end of a game? Who's your closer, your setup man? And you just get laughs. It's just whoever. It's matchups. It's who's pitching well, who's available.
That's a tough thing. And the last thing in this game of baseball, the way it is today with the pitch counts, the last thing you need is a very inconsistent bullpen, because there's a lot of folks out there who think that bullpen is the most important part of your team. The Brewers bullpen has been terrific.
Brewers lead by 2. Aaron Hill had a homer his last time up. And a strike makes it 3-2. Milwaukee batted around last inning. Hill started it with his 5th homer of the year. 4 of those coming against the Reds this season. Full count to Hill. In the air to left. Did he get it? Going back, Duvall. He's at the wall. He looks up. Goodbye. Aaron Hill has done it again. 7-4 Milwaukee, and Hill with his 2nd home run in as many at-bats.
Wow. 5 home runs for Aaron Hill against the Cincinnati Reds, and boy, he's something else against this team. Yeah, fastball, 4-seamer, and look at the location of it. Middle in, knocks it out of here on a full count. Well, the pitch before he thought might have been a ball. They called it a strike. Good thing they did.
That worked in his favor, didn't it?
Able to hit the homer.
That one had some air under it. It was a high, towering fly ball. 3 home runs tonight for the Brew Crew. Hill with 2 of them. Lucroy had the first homer of the night for Milwaukee. Aaron Hill has 7 multi-homer games in his career. 2 of them this year against the same team, the Reds. Nobody out for Ramon Flores.
And if you ask Aaron Hill about it, he'll say, I have no idea why that's the case. I mean, I don't know. I mean, you see the baseball well. I'm not sure. It's different pitchers. It's not the same guy all the time. And must be the uniform that that guy's wearing out there. He likes it. Certain guys hit certain teams better than others.
Aaron's been able to capture a couple of hitting anomalies, right? We were talking about the cycle. The last cycle from a Brewer was 2011 as Flores shoots one to right, a base hit. Ramon has 2 tonight. But Aaron Hill had 2 cycles in an 11-day span, and the second of which came here at Miller Park when he was playing for the Diamondbacks. So he is the last Brewer to hit for the cycle, but just technically not in a Brewers uniform. Trick question tonight.
Yeah.
Keon Broxton will bat. 7-4. We're in the 5th inning.
Hitting for the cycle is probably a little tougher than hitting 3 homers, wouldn't you say? Not that the other one's easier, but how many 3-homer games you think there's been in baseball as opposed to cycles? I know you don't know
That
the
would have been a
answer.
great question in our production meeting this morning.
Well, had I known Aaron Hill was going to hit 2 home runs. Were you on the production meeting this morning?
Oh, sure. We had nice breakfast, had some croissants and some.
What time was that?
10 o'clock, just like every morning. Your chair was empty.
I was sleeping.
Probably out walking the dog this morning, weren't you? Old Rupert.
Not at 10.
How did Rupert? Did he miss you?
Yeah, he was a little. He didn't sleep all that well last night.
That's because you're in a spot.
Too excited the Masters home.
The Master's been home.
That's right.
The Gopher's been on the road.
You're right.
Broxton with 2 hits tonight. A single and a double. His first career big league double his last time up. 7 runs on 10 Milwaukee hits. Scored 6 last night. En route to a series sweep of Atlanta on the road. Three balls and a strike. Keon, he's hit the ball hard twice tonight.
Yeah, one's in on a fastball. The other one waiting back nicely on a breaking pitch and knocking it over the head of Jay Bruce. Well, at least off the glove, and he's got a couple of hits. He's 2 for 2 tonight.
His best night offensively as a big leaguer. Jam shot right off his foot. Dropped him. Ouch. See where it got him.
Oh, right off the shin.
Shin burger. Man, that's got to hurt.
Yeah, that feels good. That'll slow you down a bit.
Now the home plate umpire, Marvin Hudson, walks out. He sweeps off home plate. It doesn't need sweeping, but Hudson giving Broxton a little extra time. Full count now, nobody out. Brewers have a run in on an Aaron Hill homer, and Broxton takes ball 4. First and second. And here comes Zach Davies now. The Cincinnati bullpen. It has been a disaster.
Yeah. Lone saves 10.
Last most. The only way to describe what's happened with them in all the major categories.
Look at all the walks.
So deflating too for a team. You know, even when the Reds have had leads and they've turned it over to their bullpen, they've lost them. And everybody has the line, a loss is a loss, but a giveaway loss, a late lead lost, those are extremely tough to handle for an offense.
Which never happened to the Reds when Aroldis Chapman was there.
Jay, they put together one of the great bullpens in the stretch. They made it to the playoffs. Their window was open and they ran into a buzzsaw and the Philadelphia Phillies. They hit the Phillies when the Phillies were at their prime with pitching. You might remember Roy Halladay no-hit the Reds in the postseason. That was the year they rolled out Halladay and Cole Hamels and Cliff Lee.
Yeah.
Davies trying to bunt, pops it foul.
Yeah, and then the Giants broke their hearts.
Yeah. That was really the one I think that set the Reds back emotionally as far as their fan base more than anything, because that was the year that it was a best of 5, but because of the scheduling and they were going to the new wild card format, Cincinnati went on the road to play the first 2 games, even though they had the better record than the Giants. And then the next 3 games were going to be in Cincinnati. So instead of the 2-2-1 format, it was 2-3. And the Reds went to San Francisco and won both of those games on the road. And then they lost 3 in a row, including an extra inning game. I believe that was game 3. Scott Rowland made an error. And Matt Lato struggled. Buster Posey hit a grand slam, and the Giants would not only come back and win that in improbable fashion, but they would go on to win the World Series. That was 2012. Davies strikes out. First out of the inning.
That was an impressive summer you just rattled off.
We know I remember about it. Hunter Pence, that was when Hunter Pence did the whole cheerleader bit in the dugout every day.
Yep.
Another trip to the mound for Mark Riggins. He's had plenty of those this year.
And new faces all the time out in that bullpen, just trying to find somebody that's going to get the job done, and makes it difficult. No continuity at all.
Well, Jonathan Villar back up there with 2 on. Brewers have played well this month, and Villar has been right at the front. All these numbers coming into tonight. See where he ranks. 10 doubles this month.
Yeah, that on-base percentage is the key stat for me as a leadoff hitter. Getting on base nearly half the time. That's pretty good.
On base twice tonight. 2 steals, 2 runs scored. Doubled in a run in the 4th. Runners stay put. Tough job to be a catcher for the Reds right now. You, if you're a good catcher and you're worth your salt, you wear every run allowed. Take a lot of responsibility trying to get pitchers through innings. And there are some big numbers coming out of not just the Reds bullpen, starters as well at times.
Yeah.
They got so many injuries too. Lost Johnny Cueto and Mike Leake. Traded Cueto. Leake traded as well, and he's ended up in St. Louis. Homer Bailey is the guy that they were counting on to front their rotation. He's been out, got some elbow problems. And they're understandably being very patient with Homer Bailey. No sense rushing him back at this point. But he got the big contract, and Bailey has not been healthy the last couple of years. Broken bat. Off one glove over to Cozart. Everybody safe. Infield hit for Villar. And the bases are loaded for the Brewers in the 5th.
Well, sometimes you just have to be lucky. He breaks his bat. Not a bad pitch that time by Diaz. And that 2-seam fastball, actually split change. Taking a page out of Junior Guerra's book. They're breaking his bat. He was able to make contact and no play on him. So another base hit for VR.
And he is 2 out of 3 with a walk tonight, on base for the 3rd time. And the Brew Crew with a chance to bust this one open right now. Bottom of the 5th, 1 out, bases loaded. They lead by 3. Perez getting the start at 3rd. And in the 2 spot in the lineup.
A good slider that time by Diaz.
Cincinnati does have some talent on the mound. They've got some serious prospects, which gives them some hope moving forward. Ground ball to short. Could be 2. It goes 6-4-3. And now on the run is Broxton, trying to steal an extra run, and he's going to be.
Well, the inning's over.
You're right. Inning over. No, my bad. I'm with the Reds too. Get 4 outs when you can. You can carry one over the next inning. That's a good call. 7-4. Aaron Hill with another home run. His 2nd of the game, and the Brewers lead it 7-4. You only get 3 outs in this league. Tonight he has 11 career homers against the Reds, and he has given the Brewers a 7-4 lead. In honor of Memorial Day weekend, Fox Sports Supports is proud to team up with Merging Vets and Players, dedicated to ensuring our nation's warriors can be as productive off the field as they were on it, by joining combat veterans with former athletes to form a common bond over dedication and teamwork. Just go to foxsportsupports.com to learn more. Joey Votto sends one deep to left, and it is up and gone as Joey Votto hits a home run.
That ball just kept going, didn't it? And, off the bat, it looked like it was going to be an out there into the gap, but just kept going.
For Votto, it is his 7th, and he makes it a 7-5 game.
Yeah, breaking ball, 2nd home run allowed by Zach Davies on the curveball tonight. This one to Votto to the opposite field. Hit high, just kept going. And the Reds aren't going away.
Down 2 now. It's twice that the Reds have homered on Davies' curveball. Adam Duvall got him in the 1st inning. That was a 3-run homer. Was a stretch there when Davies retired 10 in a row. His pitch count's in great shape here in the 6th inning, and he's got a lead, but now he's given up 5 runs on 6 hits. Phillips bounces to third. Perez for the first out.
You know, getting back to that last play, you know, in this age of review and things, I guess Votto wasn't sure if his, Perez was going to be called out. You got to play through out number 3, right? So I guess it does make a little sense what happened there. Don't be so hard on yourself. It was kind of a close play at first, right?
Yeah.
I mean, relatively, but
Just, you know, you call the plays, and it'd be helpful if you remembered how many outs there were.
trying to help you out.
If I'm going through a broadcaster critique here.
But you understand what I'm saying.
I think that's the way it was taught. I do, and I appreciate that.
Right.
And I remember last year, a lot of managers were telling their players to play it all the way through because you don't know with review now. And conversely, for base runners, you don't stop assuming that's the last out, because
Right.
if you let the play go all the way through and now they go to review and they say, well, he's safe at second, then that would have been 2 runs in. But it wasn't. And it was completely mishandled as Jay Bruce grounds out. 2 gone in the inning.
He just forgot that Zach Davies got called out on strikes.
That's right.
That's all.
Just completely ignored his at bat. It happens. Adam Duvall, who hit the 3-run homer in the first. His 10th of the year. And he's going to drop one into center field, a base hit. Swinging early, his 2nd hit of the night.
Yep, right off the end of the bat that time. 86 miles an hour, breaking ball, slider. And you see the spin, the rotation, and right off the end, and Duvall with his 2nd hit.
Craig Counsell on his way out. Pitch count in decent shape, but the fact that the Reds will bring the tying run to the plate now, I think Craig Counsell wants to ensure that Davies has a chance to win this game as he pitches into the 6th. Wasn't his best night. He was really good at times, but his offense supported him well, and Davies has a chance to win his 2nd game of the season here tonight. We'll take a timeout. Brought to you by Miller Lite, the original light Pilsner. Cheers, it's Miller time. And by the Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly. Well, Zach Davies is out. He goes 5 2/3 here tonight. 80 pitches, all runs earned. So the ERA is going to bump up a little bit, but he's got a chance to win the game. He showed flashes here tonight. And the Brewers getting a lot of offense. Here's Blaine Boyer now. The Brewers bullpen has been lights out. The best ERA in the majors since May 6th, and Boyer's been a big part of it.
Yeah, hasn't allowed a run in his last 10 appearances, and threw 2 scoreless innings on Wednesday against the Braves.
Eugenio Suarez at the plate. Suarez is 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts. And his slump continues. He is without a hit in his last 22 at-bats. Ground ball to VR. Got a long way to go across the diamond. No problem. So Boyer comes in. He gets the final out, and the inning is over. We played 6 or 5.5. We're going to the bottom of the 6th.
This series opener, and you can support the Brewers Community Foundation this season by rounding up in the Brewers team store. By rounding up your bill to the nearest dollar and donating your change to BCF, you can help change the lives of kids and families in need all around the state. A quick update on Will Smith. The next stop on his minor league comeback tour is with Biloxi. The plan is for him to pitch on Sunday. He had a very sharp outing last night. He went 2 innings, struck out the side in 1 inning. So the plan is for him to pitch in back-to-back outings, see how he does there, and hopefully he will be able to join the team in Philly in the coming weekend.
All right, Sophia, thanks. Brewers are anxious to get the big left-hander back in the bullpen. Caleb Collum is in for Cincinnati.
Now you see his numbers, 22nd appearance for Cotham, and well, 3rd reliever already used by Brian Price tonight.
Ryan Braun starts it for the Brewers. Braun has walked twice tonight. He came in 3rd in the league in slugging, 4th in the league in on-base percentage. And still riding an OPS over 1,000 at this point. It's been a good year. When he's been on the field, he has certainly been the best hitter on the field on most nights. Returning to his place in the game is one of the top hitters in baseball.
Man, just not able to play every day like he used to, and needs some time. He had a stretch where he missed about a week. Was it missed 5 out of 6? But he's come back strong. Hit 2 home runs in Atlanta.
First 2 games he missed were due to the right wrist injury. Kind of tweaked his right wrist. That healed quickly, came back, played a game, and then his back locked up on him. And he missed 4 in a row. Finally returned last Sunday against the Mets, and he has been in the starting lineup every night since his return last weekend against Noah Syndergaard and the Mets, and he had a base hit in that game. He hit a booming home run in Atlanta. Down he goes. He waves and misses at a breaking ball. A strikeout to start the inning.
Yeah, that's a good slider right there by Cotham. Yeah, right off the outside corner on a full count.
Powerball home run leaderboard. Chris Carter tops that list, and then you got Braun, and now Lucroy with a home run tonight. He has 7. Aaron Hill's hit 2 tonight. Lucroy has RBIs in his first 3 plate appearances. Sac fly, a 427-foot homer, and then an RBI double his last time up.
I'm going to keep that guy down very long. He's got too good a swing, makes too much contact.
So all of our friends from the Stars and Stripes Honor Flight here that we talked about, our Fox Sports Wisconsin suite, whom we are hosting tonight. Jonathan Lucroy is a big part of that group, and the military charities in general. Hits it sharply. Nice play by Cozart. And there is out number 2. There's a lot that Lucroy is to be commended for that happens publicly that we know about, but I would say, and Rock, you know this because you've been with him, but there's a lot that he does that most people don't know about with military charities as well. Very generous.
And that's the most meaningful thing for Lucroy. It's not just because the cameras are around, there's a microphone, or people taking pictures, but he supports a lot of different charities around Milwaukee. But most important, I think most important, is the military charities that the Brewers support. The Fisher House, Stars and Stripes Honor Flight, Fisher House, the USO, a lot of great charities that you can be a part of.
I'll tell you a quick story about Lucroy and the Honor Flight. When they first came to us, we certainly wanted to help them as best we could, and they were hoping to have a player contribute. And as Carter bounces one to short, and Cozart makes the play to end the inning. The quick story is Lucroy took that initial request and he went above and beyond, ended up on an honor flight on his own. We didn't even know he was going. He just likes to do things that way. He's a good man, and we're glad to have him on this Memorial Day weekend.
here at Miller Park, saying what is it, about 9:16. 2-run lead for the Brew Crew. Spend Memorial Day with the Crew as they face off against the Cardinals. And as part of Spring Madness, fans save 50% on select tickets, plus enjoy $4 beers, hot dogs and sodas, and $4 nachos. Visit brewers.com/madness.
I can't read those clocks without numbers, Rock. You know that.
9:16. The Clements clock.
Boyer back on the mound. Got the final out of the 6th inning. Facing Billy Hamilton here to start the 7th. Brewers lead by 2. 7-5. We've seen some home runs tonight. It's warming up here in Milwaukee, and ball's flying a little bit. Brewers have hit 3 home runs. Aaron Hill has 2 of those 3. He and Lucroy. And Joey Votto and Adam Duvall have homered for Cincinnati.
Yeah, that one that Joey Votto hit, that one carried pretty good into the gap. Didn't think that was a home run, but Joey Votto pretty strong. Got his curveball. Really, the only 2 mistakes that Davies made was the curveball tonight.
Mets-Dodgers game just ended. Curtis Granderson hit a walk-off home run. Dodgers had a comeback. Had their 19-year-old left-hander on the mound tonight, Julio Urias, and he lasted 2 2/3 innings. But the Dodgers came back, and then Granderson won it for the Mets with a walk-off. They played well since sweeping the Brewers, and the Mets are now 8 games over 500 in the National League East. The Nationals lost to the Cardinals tonight. That's just a game and a half back. I'll tell you, the hot team right now, Rock, is the Pirates. And they're leading tonight 6-0 over the Texas Rangers in Arlington as they go into interleague play.
Yep, Giants are pretty hot.
Pirates have won 8 of 10. Giants have won 9 of 10 and 5 in a row. San Francisco is in Colorado tonight, just underway and scoreless. In the National League, the division leaders are the Nationals, the Cubs, and the Giants. Little soft liner out to VR for the out. And Boyer has one away in the 7th. Baseball night in America returns tomorrow. It's the Cardinals and the Nationals. 6 p.m. Central, and it's only on Fox, or you can watch it live on Fox Sports Go. Good matchup there. Cardinals Nationals. The NL East is tight with the Mets, the Nats, and the Phillies. Even Miami is in the picture there. St. Louis started play today 8.5 back of the Cubs. Chicago still has the best record in all of baseball. Cubs are 31-14. And by the way, that's the answer to the question that we get a lot of. Why is tomorrow's game starting at 3:10? It's to protect the Fox national TV window. They have the night game tomorrow, so baseball doesn't want a lot of other games going on at that time.
So it has to start at 3:10.
It can start earlier. You just have to be done by 7 in a normal game.
Right.
We could start at noon or 1:10 or 2:10. Could start at 2:30.
Right. I just didn't want people thinking it had to start at 3:10.
Could start at 3:05.
Right.
11:15 is an option.
So get here early.
3:10 start tomorrow, and then Sunday is a 1:10 start. Monday is a 1:10 start. Memorial Day, right?
Yep.
and then a night game Tuesday, and then a 12:40 start Wednesday. You got all that straight?
I do.
Expecting you here on time.
No TV Wednesday.
But we'll still be here practicing. And the way tonight's going, we could use the work. Miller Lite, what's on tap? What time tomorrow, Rock?
3:10.
3:10. 2:30 airtime for Brewers Live. Craig and Davey, Chase Anderson and Alfredo Simon.
See, I got it wrong. Brewers Live, 2:30.
First pitch, though, 3:10. You're right. Two balls, two strikes. A little flare, gonna slice and just foul.
Alfredo Simon threw a good game against the Brewers in Cincinnati. That was a Matt LePay game.
Is that how you remember that game?
I just knew you didn't have anything to say back to me because you weren't there.
I had no response for that.
Yeah, that's what I said.
I have no memory of that game. There's a swing and a miss. Strikeout.
Normally you would say something in response, but
somebody get Matt on the phone and let's get his thoughts on that Alfredo Simon game.
He would agree with me.
Matt's a little bit in the doghouse with us, the great voice of the Badgers, because every time we are on the air and we're playing a marathon game or in a rain delay or a 5-hour extra inning game like we've had plenty of, he's always checking in.
Yeah,
if you know what I mean.
Telling us what he's doing.
Checking in. Telling us how many umbrellas are in his drink.
Hanging out on the beach.
Just saying, Matt. That has a way to come around at you again. Ivan De Jesus Jr. will pinch hit for the Reds here in the 7th. You know what Matt's looking forward to, as am I. We've got quite a college football matchup set up early in the schedule at Lambeau Field. LSU and Wisconsin. That's going to be fun. Pinch hitter for the Reds with 2 outs. Blaine Boyer trying to give Counsell an inning and a third tonight. 4 outs. And then set up the late inning relief. It's a 2-run game.
A couple of days ago threw 2 scoreless innings against the Atlanta Braves. So he's his arm is alive and well right now. Not overpowering, just throws a lot of strikes. Going to be tough decisions to make when Will Smith comes back. Be nice to have a left-hander down in that bullpen again with Capuano on the DL. It's all righties.
The 1-2. Got him. Boyer comes up big again. 4 up, 4 down. An inning and a third of scoreless baseball. Hold serve. The Brewers lead by 2. Aaron Hill. He's due up. He's hit 2 home runs tonight against the Reds as they got another one in him. It's time here at Miller Park. Let's get you caught up with our game summary. It started with a bang for the Reds, a 3-run homer by Adam Duvall in the first inning, and a 3-0 lead quickly on Zach Davies. Then Lucroy connected once again. He had an RBI in the first on a sac fly. That was a long home run. He's driven in 3 tonight, but Aaron Hill has been the story. Not 1 but 2 homers. That one tied the game at 3, and then he hit one in the 5th inning for the 7th Brewers run. He hit 3 home runs against the Reds in a game in May, early May, and now he has 2 tonight, and he's got an at-bat to lead off this bottom of the 7th inning. JC Ramirez is the pitcher for the Reds.
And Ramirez has spent time with the Phillies, the Diamondbacks, Mariners, now the Reds. 14th appearance for him, an earned run average at .476. He's given up 3 home runs.
Hill just reaches out, pops out and foul in the seats. And it's 0-2. Aaron's last home run came on a 2-strike pitch. He's on a 3-2 pitch, to be specific. He's hit 6 home runs this year. 4 of them have come in May. So in 23 games in May, Aaron Hill's hitting .351 with 5 homers and 12 runs batted in. And a bullet back up the middle, a base hit.
And 98 miles an hour, that fastball, and he just turned it around like it was a BP fastball. Like quick bat for Aaron Hill. He just sees the ball well against these guys. Amazing. 5 or 6 home runs have come against the Reds. And fastball and up, and he hits a bullet right back through the middle for a leadoff single here in the 7th. Seeing it well tonight.
Here's Ramon Flores now with a man on. He's 2 out of 3 tonight. Beware of the weary tonight. That's been the story. The Brewers with a late night arrival, pulling into Milwaukee about 2 a.m.
They're young. They can handle it.
We're the ones who suffer.
Right.
Ground ball to short. Kozar goes to second. Out there. And too late at first. Fielder's choice for Flores.
Those wheels on the ground about 1:30. What, 1:45, something like that?
I think so.
Not too bad.
And 17-minute rain delay set it back a little bit.
About an hour late.
I think that the game on Wednesday night, setting up the rain delay and the late night travel, that was the one that hurt a little bit. 13 innings. It was a win for the Brewers. It lasted almost 5 hours.
Hurts less when you win.
Amen. And the Brewers won all 3 in Atlanta. Keon Broxton with 2 hits tonight.
And 2 hits and a walk, so he's seeing it pretty well. Not just the hits, but being patient at the plate.
And it's dropped by Cabrera. Flores will take the bag. Got to be a pass ball there, you would imagine.
That is a big, heavy fastball from Ramirez, 98 miles an hour. Got a slider to go with it, and not sure what happens here. And just right off the end of the glove, rattles around, and can't keep it close enough.
A good old-fashioned clank. But he's got a pitcher that has extreme velocity and just enough wildness. Sure, he is no picnic to catch.
He's got a little movement with it, and a little sink, a little cut. Sometimes he probably doesn't know what it's going to do, which is not a bad thing. Be nice if the catcher knew, though.
Signals are optional, right?
Yeah, there's one on every staff that has that movement. I would imagine Willie's like that. We're not missing by much.
Look at all those pitches around the strike zone on Fox Tracks, and yet it's a 3-1 count. Keon Broxton, his best night in the big leagues so far of his brief career. Chopper to third, big hop for Suarez, and Broxton is out. Second out of the inning.
Hey, just a reminder, the Spring Madness continues all weekend long here at Miller Park. Through Monday, select tickets are 50% off. Plus, beer and nachos are $4, and hot dogs and sodas are just $1 each. Get your tickets at brewers.com/madness. 50% off, and you can get food pretty inexpensively here at the ballpark.
Would you rather have $4 hot dogs or $4 nachos?
I'm a hot dog guy.
You could throw down 4 hot dogs in 2 minutes. Easy.
No. Maybe turkey hot dogs.
Turkey dogs. Another visit to the mound by the Reds pitching coach Mark Wiggins. Got a scouting report here. The Brewers have announced a pinch hitter, Alex Presley. Two outs in the inning. 2-run game. Brewers have out hit the Reds 12-7. Three Milwaukee homers tonight. Lucroy and Aaron Hill. Hill has a pair. Big run to pick up. Flores at second base. Presley's done a good job as a pinch hitter this year. He's 3 for 8. Has a homer. 3 runs batted in as a pinch hitter.
And handles a pretty good fastball. Let's see, this will be a good matchup for Alex Presley. Not a big guy, but very quick hands on the fastball, and Ramirez has a pretty good one.
J.C. Ramirez. Reds have lost 10 straight games. Their road record is 3-17 this season. And it's ball 4. Presley with a pinch hit walk.
Hey, Ramirez looking into Marvin Hudson. We've showed you a couple of pitches that are pretty close. Thought that last one was in the strike zone. Might have been the way that was caught by Cabrera, taking it away from the strike zone, but that looked like a strike.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's the opposite of framing a pitch.
Right, taking it away.
So go back to the top of the order now, and Jonathan Villar, who has been on 3 times, 2 hits and a walk, drove in a run with a double in the 4th. Has 2 stolen bases tonight. Homered last night in Atlanta to give the Brewers a 2-run lead at the time. Hit hard through, base hit. Rounding third, headed home is Flores. He'll score. And Jonathan Villar continues to shine. It's an RBI single. His 2nd RBI of the night. The Brewers lead at 8-5.
Yeah, able to turn around that fastball, 96 miles an hour. So Ramirez taking just a little bit off to throw a strike, and Villar able to turn it around. Yeah, that 4-seam fastball, and look at the extension. I mean, he's right on it and lines it out of the reach of Phillips, and there's a nice insurance run for Milwaukee. Bottom of the order's done a nice job tonight. It really has. I mean, think about it. Yeah, Hill, Flores, Broxton, now Presley walks, and these guys have been on just about all night.
10 base runners out of the bottom 4 in the order. PR takes off. A foul pop from Perez in the seats.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Hill has 3 hits. Flores batting 7th, has 2 hits, and he reached on a fielder's choice. Broxton's been on 3 times with 2 hits and a walk, and now the pinch hitter Presley batting in the 9 spot, reaching on a walk. Lots of stakes to deliver for the top of the order when the bottom is producing like that. Perez into right, that's down, base hit. Another run scores. Presley's in. Hernan Perez drives in his second, and it is 9-5 Brewers.
He's really good at going to the opposite field and just trying to serve it out in that direction. That's his bread and butter, right field, and you can see the slider from Ramirez. It stays up. He didn't get it on the barrel, but able to dump it in front of Jay Bruce. Another 2-out hit. 14 hits for the Brewers tonight. Yeah, good to see him swinging the bats back-to-back nights.
3 of those coming in this inning to go along with a walk. Now Braun with 2 away, bouncing ball. Phillips will make the play to win the inning. Another productive inning offensively for the Brew Crew. Villar with a ribby, Perez with a ribby. 9-5 Brewers.
Reds 9-5 as we head to the 8th. We check in our minor league report. We see what Javier Betancourt, the second baseman for the Biloxi Shuckers, is doing. Yesterday, the Shuckers had a doubleheader, and Betancourt went 3 for 7 with a home run and 2 RBIs. He's now hitting .246 on the season, a pair of homers, and 20 RBIs in the first 40 games of the season.
Javier Betancourt. Sophia is giving us a name each and every night to pay attention to. Are you keeping notes?
And that's what this season's all about, keeping an eye on what's going on down in the minor leagues, given all the trades the Brewers made. And one guy that you can keep an eye on up here in the major leagues, though, Tyler Thornburg has been outstanding. 348 earned run average. Game number 22. Did you like that segue? No?
You know, Rock, what I want to tell you right now is when you make segues like that, you can't say you're not media. You're media.
Is that what that is?
You are media, pal.
Oh, okay.
Welcome to the club.
All right.
I know you don't really want to be media, but you are. When you do things like that.
Can he be media up here and then not media down on the field?
I think so. I think there's a line. You,
right,
you and Bob Uecker can draw that line wherever you want.
All right. I'll give it to you.
That was a professional segue.
Well, Thornburg last pitch against the Braves tossed a perfect 9th inning. That's more player, wasn't it? Right there.
I'm now waiting for you to wow us with your wordsmithing.
I've never been accused of that.
You are a best-selling author, though.
But my photography skills leave a little bit to be desired.
That's true. But that's a learned skill. How is the book coming, by the way?
Nice. Got a book signing coming up. We're going
Really?
up to the Wisconsin Rapids VFW on June 6th.
June 6th.
You know
Book
what-
signing.
You know what June 6th is, don't you?
It's a day before my birthday.
No, it's D-Day.
No, I know. That's how I remember my birthday. That and the fact that you bring a bunch of balloons and scary clowns and cakes and stuff. There's the book, If These Walls Could Talk.
We're in the second printing. They ran out of the first printing.
That's what I'm saying. Sold all 10 of those. Had to go back for more.
You can buy them at the team store here at Miller Park.
A pop up to third. In fair territory now, and Perez makes a play for the out.
You can actually go to the team store and pick up a book, and it's signed. Drew and I signed them. A lot of them.
Drew Olson.
Yeah. The co-author.
Oh, I see.
It's going well.
Boy, it's a great book.
A lot of fun.
There's a lot of cool stories in there. Nothing we don't hear for free on television every night, but it's nice to have it in one nice capsulized piece.
No, there's a lot in there that you can't put on TV.
0-2 on Votto.
I mean, not that it's,
it's not off color.
not bad, but it's just stuff you don't want to talk about on television.
A lot of it, there's a lot of buildup. You can't really build it up.
Don't have time on TV.
Oh, 2 to Votto.
Look at that choke up. Unbelievable.
I haven't seen that kind of choke up, I think, since Willie Keeler did it.
Felix Millan, when he was with the Mets, he choked up like that.
That's a good name.
That's incredible.
And he rolls one. The shift is on over there, though. Perez, the third baseman, on the right side of the infield, makes a play for out number 2.
Hey, tonight's time of the game winner, Kate's Bar in Barron, Wisconsin. If they call the Brewers by 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, they get 40 tickets to a Friday night game in the Miller Lite beer pen. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite.
You have a wife named Kate, I believe.
I do.
No relation? I always thought you two would be good bar owners. Big curveball in there on Phillips.
I'm not biting. You're on your own on this one. When you involve Kate in it, I stay quiet.
That's a good idea. I should too. You're right. Phillips goes, and it's 0-2. Thornburg is on his A game right now. His stuff is crisp.
And that's the way it's pretty much been all season long. He's had a couple of outings where he's hung a couple of curveballs from time to time, but he has been very good since the end of spring training.
0-2 to Brandon Phillips. Another curveball, and he got him. And Phillips is gone. The inning is over, and Tyler Thornburg sharp in the 8th. 9-5 Milwaukee. Brewers coming up.
Tyler Thornburg unscored upon now in 19 of 22 appearances. Nice clean 8th inning. We go to the bottom of the 8th. We're getting set for Brewers Live. And boy, oh boy, do we have some storylines to talk about with this offense, Davey. 9 runs, 14 hits already.
Ow! Oh,
Boom.
boy. I'm
You like
telling
that,
you,
don't you?
I'm loving it. Lucroy, Hill, VR continues to just swing the bat very well and steal bases.
Most everybody has been a big contributor here tonight, and that's what you like to see when this team struggled for runs for what appeared to be about a good 2-week battle. The pitching picked him up, but now the hitting picking up the pitching here tonight, as it turns out.
Well, that's right. And maybe it's some good old home cooking right now that the boys have during, and hopefully it'll keep up during this homestand.
Brewers trying to win a season-high 4 straight games. We'll hear from Craig Counsell and the crew coming up on Brewers Live. Brian.
All right, thanks a lot, Craig and Davey. There you see A.J. Morris coming off a rough outing against the Dodgers his last time out back on Tuesday.
Yeah, that was his major league debut. Came up on Sunday from Louisville.
Lucroy starts it for the Brewers. 2 hits tonight. He's driven in 3. Sac fly, home run, and an RBI double. Always one of the favorite opponents for Lucroy, the Cincinnati Reds. He's hit his 11th homer against Cincinnati, which is the highest total against any one opponent for Jonathan. Ryan Braun's home run total against the Reds is the most for any opponent. He's hit 32 homers against the Reds. And the offense is in play tonight. Jay Bruce has hit more homers against the Brewers than any opponent. So all those nuggets setting the stage for tonight's game as Lucroy chases out number 1.
Man, pretty good breaking pitch right there, but yeah, you're going to have some pretty good numbers when you face, teams the same pitching over and over again. Normally the hitters, unless you have just an incredible starter, a guy like Kershaw or Johnny Cueto, I mean, the more you see a pitcher, the better chance you have of getting a good swing, getting a pitch to hit, understanding his tendencies. And Jay Bruce, Joey Votto have always done well against Milwaukee.
Chris Carter jumping on the first pitch. This Brewers club can hit some homers, no doubt. And now that it's warming up in Milwaukee and Miller Park is going to play as a home run hitter's haven, they've already put some big numbers up, but I would imagine the home run figures are going to skyrocket for the rest of the summer.
Yeah, Brewers coming in 7th in home runs in the National League. Got 53 now on the season.
Carter has 13 of those, tied for 3rd in the National League. Three and 1 to Carter. High fly ball to center, way up there, and Hamilton will squeeze it with 2 hands. Fundamentally sound. 2 outs in the inning. And here comes Aaron Hill. Hill's had a big night tonight. It's not the biggest night of the season. That came against the Reds on the road in Cincinnati when he hit 3 home runs and drove in 7. Had a grand slam in that game. He's hit 2 home runs tonight and has a single. Batting average up to 271 for Aaron Hill.
And that single was hit just about as hard as the 2 home runs. That was a bullet back through the middle.
Hills hit .360 in May. He'll be making a run at Brewers Player of the Month.
Yeah, off to a very slow start. Had a rough month of April. Hit it some bad luck, in all honesty, in April, but they're starting to fall.
See if he's got the green light. 3-0. Ball 4. On base for the 4th time tonight. It's a 2-out base runner for the Brew Crew.
Hey, nothing says summer like Brewers baseball in the State Fair. With a Fair Days double play, you get a ticket to the Brewers game and a general admission ticket to the Wisconsin State Fair, presented by U.S. Cellular. All for just $15. Go to brewers.com/State Fair.
Can almost taste the cream puffs right now, just thinking about it.
Yeah. Corn dogs.
Are those organic?
Oh, yeah. Organic oil.
Ramon Flores at the plate. I still haven't quite figured out how to eat the cream puff without just making a total mess. So they're not good pre-telecast fare.
Just do yourself a favor. Don't embarrass yourself by using a knife and fork.
Like last year.
Yeah, you really, you know, you kind of lay yourself out there as a true Texan when you do that.
Man. What are you taking down the state for?
I'm not. You just can't worry about getting it all over you. Don't worry about it.
Only when we're on TV. You know, we like to eat with our hands in Texas. That's what we do. We pretty much eat everything with our hands. You just don't have to go on television after that.
No, you led with your chin right there. I just left that alone.
Well, I feel like challenging you to a cream puff eating contest, but Sophia is the best eater on the production team, so we'd all finish in second.
Yeah. Did a number on those hamburgers in New York.
They're still talking about it, aren't they?
Yeah.
Should get a Marcus Hannell, Sophia Minard eating competition going. 1-2 the count. And Flores, a little jam shot back to the mound. And that is going to retire the side. So here we go to the 9th. The Brewers trying to make it 4 consecutive wins and keep the Reds winless in their last 11. Home run fireworks aplenty tonight for the Brewers. They've hit 3 of them, and they lead at 9-5. And this Brewers baseball game tonight on Fox Sports Wisconsin is presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. Jeremy Jeffress is on the pitch. The Brewers lead by 4. And even though it is not a save situation, Craig Counsell, from the day he took over as the Brewers manager, has counted 4-run leads as save situations in his book.
Yeah, you can't mess around. Plus the fact that the Brewers used a couple of their early relievers in yesterday's game, Marinez, Torres. They still have David Goforth down there, but yeah, take no chances when you have a win right on your front door. You don't want to mess it up.
And the inning starts with Jay Bruce. Boy, more great work out of the Brewers bullpen tonight. Blaine Boyer retired 4 in a row. He had an inning and a third. Thornburg worked a scoreless 8th inning with a strikeout. And now Jeffress on the pitch. Those 3 had the night off last night. Oh, good pitch. Took something off.
Yeah, 91.
He doesn't call it a change. It's that split grip change up. I guess the split change is what we call it now, but for him it's a pitch that still has velocity.
With Junior Guerra. That's the one he throws, the split change. Tried it again.
Old timers would call that what? The dead fish, right? The dead fish fastball.
Yeah, that's what Pete Vukovich used to call it.
He's not an old timer.
To some he is.
1-2 pitch. Ooh, in there. 96. Threaded the needle. And Jeffress with a strikeout to start his 9th inning.
That was a good sign to see Jeremy able to come in throwing strikes early. Catching the inside corner. You can see Lucroy reaching for it because he was setting up outside. 4-seam fastball. And Jay Bruce caught looking.
One gone. Jeffress facing Adam Duvall. Way back in the 1st inning, hit a 3-run homer against Zach Davies to give the Reds a fast start offensively. But the Brewers chipped away. Scored a run in the bottom of the 1st. Got a Lucroy homer in the 3rd. Aaron Hill tied the game with a homer in the 4th. And then the Brewers would score 3 more runs in that 4th inning. A 4-run 4th inning. And the Brewers have just kept adding on. Down the right field line. Hit well, slicing foul. Oh, 0-2 the count. Milwaukee has 9 runs on 14 hits tonight, and they've stranded 10 in this game. They've had base runners everywhere. There's been just one 3-up, 3-down inning for the Reds. That came in the 6th. A line shot right at Perez. Out number 2. And now Jeffress is an out away from the Brewers' 4th consecutive win. Right at him. Perez has had a good night tonight as well.
He has a lot of good nights out there.
2 hits. Pushing his batting average over 300 or close to it. Crowd is up over 20,000. Ground ball, 3rd base. It'll stay fair. Perez low throw. Carter digs it, and the ball game is over. The Brewers win. They beat the Reds first 4-game winning streak of the season for Milwaukee. Aaron Hill with 2 home runs tonight. Jonathan Lucroy, 2 hits and 3 runs batted in. And they make a winner out of Zach Davies, who goes to 2-3 as the Brewers win at 9-5. The Reds' losing streak has now hit 11 consecutive. Good ball game tonight for the Brew Crew. Let's send it out to Craig Kashawn. He's standing by. It's time for Brewers Live. Craig?
Boy, what a way to start the homestand for Milwaukee. 9 runs. The offense is definitely on track.